Welcome to the third session of True North Leadership Moral Compass, and I'm Jamie Solveig Cerrone, and we are going to discover your sweet spot and your strength using the strength finders and going over some questions of when you've been the most effective leader. Through this session, we'll go over what motivates you intrinsically and extrinsically, what you are gifted and talented at, and what makes you money, and your strengths and weaknesses. And by the end of it, you will know your sweet spot and how and when you achieve your maximum ability as a leader in your field. So we're going to become aware of your blind spots, which are your weaknesses, and your strengths, which will be your sweet spot. So finding your sweet spot means knowing what you are most talented at and what you do when you're making your money. And what is right in the middle is your sweet spot and what you will be most happy and successful at doing. What you will not even seem like working a whole day in your life because you are doing what you love. The inventor of the strength psychology for Clifton Strength Finder, and this is an excellent book, and you can go on to the www.gallup to find the strength finders, and I highly recommend that you do this assessment. It will give you 5 strengths among 36 qualities ranging from 4 domains: your executor, your relationship building, your influencing, and your strategic thinking. This will help you discover more about yourself, while some companies have even used the Clifton Strengths as a way to pair up colleagues in cross-department matrix teams to play off of each other's strengths. Gallup has studied more than 1 million work teams and conducted more than 20,000 interviews with leaders to gather research over decades, resulting in the gathering of the best practices and suggestions and questions for you to answer to increase your awareness. One reason why it's important that we understand that self-awareness is the #1 trait of an effective leader. And another great book that I recommend that you read is John Maxwell's Self-Aware Leader. And this discusses how effective leaders' main focus is developing their strengths of their team members, and effective leaders are about maximizing the team's strengths to reach the goal. The greatest leaders are also known how to lead themselves. So John Maxwell, who has his own company on leadership, goes over this, whether you listen to it on audio or get the book. It'll help you realize how you can maximize your strengths and become more self-aware and know those blind spots. Greatest leaders are aware of strengths and weaknesses and improve interactions with their team. Effective leaders know their values to better guide how they want to live their lives. In turn, this unleashes the power of their whole team. In True North Leadership and finding our moral compass, instead of trying to fix weaknesses, the goal becomes how to find the strengths. So they, in Clifton Strengths, they went over 100,000 talent-based interviews from doctors, salespersons, teachers, lawyers, entrepreneurs. Talent is described as your natural way of thinking, and investment is your time spent building these talents and strengths. And this is the perfect performance. You're going to get a 10, 10, 10, like the Olympics. This session takes you into developing your strengths and talents and focusing on what you're already great at. In my human development classes, we learned that the character of a child is developed by the age of 5. The reported same strengths are reported at the age of 26. So now go to gallup.com, Clifton Strengths, and find out your 5 main strengths. Now we're going to go into discovering your talents and what motivates you. Name your top talents. Name your top interests, hobbies, and passions. Name your strengths you are aware of. Name your weaknesses that you are aware of and what others have pointed out. What have you been critiqued on? What are your intrinsic motivations and what are your extrinsic motivations? Do you want to be that guy to say that you've never worked a day in your life? How do they do it? Discovering your sweet spot is knowing what you are talented at and what is making you money. What is in between is what you will be happy and successful doing. It won't feel like you are working a day in your life, and you will always stay on the right course, following your moral compass and that northern star. And that is your sweet spot. The sweet spot is the same as where the baseball player, hockey player, tennis player, or the golfer hits the ball at the point of contact to get it the most distance and accuracy on the range or the court. There is a feeling of surety when you hit the mark and you are on target. Now, it is imperative to be clear about what you love and express them, and then you will be more effective leader. And be honest with yourself and authentic and genuine. So getting out of the grind and into the flow of doing what you love will build you up rather than grind you down. And it won't feel like work. Now, intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. This is an exercise. I want you to create a chart of your extrinsic and intrinsic. Now list what are your extrinsic motivations. List these on an importance scale of 1 to 9. Monetary compensation, power, prestigious title, public recognition, social status, competition, association with prestigious institutions, and anything else that you can think of. What are your intrinsic motivations? List these on an importance scale between 1 through 9. Engaging in personal growth and development, doing a good job, helping others, leading and organizing others, being with people you care about, finding meaning with your efforts, being true to your beliefs, making a difference in the world, influencing others. Now give an example of having a balance of intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. What is the result of focusing too much on one or the other? What have been some of your most rewarding leadership moments? What did you leverage intrinsic and extrinsic values? And what are the themes in these moments? Now we're going to discuss your leadership strengths. What were the leadership strengths demonstrated in these moments? List them from 1 to 5. Why were you so effective in these leadership moments? And how did you feel about yourself at this time? Now we're going to find your sweet spot by using a Venn diagram. In the first circle, put your intrinsic motivations. In the second circle, your extrinsic motivations. And in the third one, your leadership strengths. And then you're going to find in the middle of that, the ones that overlap, is your sweet spot. Now meditate upon that, because you're going to want to build that up and emphasize that and do everything you can to be always right there on the mark, on target, operating out of your sweet spot, to be happy with your life and your career choice and to make the most money. Create a phrase that captures who you are when you are operating from your sweet spot. What changes can you make today to spend more time operating out of your sweet spot? Now visualize the situations that maximize and utilize your sweet spot the most. This is your awareness as an effective leader as well. Now, let's consider the Harvard Business Review, a recent study that says the strengths of leaders say that the number one strength is self-awareness. Now back to John Maxwell. How aware are you of your talents, what motivates you, and your intrinsic and extrinsic motivators? Awareness of yourself and others is an organizational and transformational skill that will open your mind to your surroundings and how they affect you. So continue doing this exercise and ask yourself these questions in conclusion. How has this practice in finding your sweet spot with and using the strength finders and knowing the intrinsic and extrinsic motivations assisted you in becoming a more authentic leader? How committed are you on staying on your true north and leading from your sweet spot? And what adjustments in your life can you make to lead from your sweet spot? How can you utilize your 5 strengths from Strength Finders in your career and goal? In the Harvard Business Review, Leading Yourself Before You Lead Others by Devin Fry, he makes some key points. Leaders must learn how to lead themselves first. Emotions will always be part of your leadership. 3, self-awareness is a continuous journey for leaders. Understanding our own emotions and experienced trauma can prevent us from making intense reactions, enabling us to make better decisions in challenging leadership situations. So according to the classic research from a renowned neuroscientist, Joseph Ledoux, the key to consciously assessing the emotional brain lies in self-awareness. In this Harvard Business Review by David Fry, Leading Yourself Before Leading Others, he points out that leadership is not immune to the impact of emotions. In fact, emotions play a significant role in decision-making. When leaders find themselves feeling overwhelmed or on high alert, poor decisions are bound to follow. This is where self-awareness comes into play. In the Compass-E model, we learned that there's self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. In relationship management, effective leaders, they develop others. They're inspirational and they catapult change. In social awareness, they're empathetic, they have organizational awareness, they're service-orientated. In self-management, they have emotional self-control, they're transparent, they're adaptable, they have achievement orientation, they take the initiative, and they're optimistic. Self-awareness, emotional self-awareness, accurate self-assessment, and self-confidence. Now, one great example of a woman that teaches us the morality and gives us encouragement on ethical judgment is Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who, when you listen to her, you can't help but fall in love with her deep, strong German accent. She has gone on to also speak and teach courses at West Point to students on morality and ethical judgment, on values and family. And she will even had a talk show on the radio on dating. She's excellent to listen to. Growing up as a young child, she lived in a kibbutz in Switzerland. It was World War II. And she says that her parents gave her a second life by sending her to Switzerland and saving her from World War II. She's an excellent source to go to for strength for myself and many others. I recommend her. But take a look at Dr. Ruth Westheimer. And in conclusion, how can you be more self-aware and an effective leader? Also, how committed are you on staying on your true north and leading from your sweet spot? And what adjustments in your life can you make to lead from your sweet spot? I look forward to hearing what your 5 Clifton strengths were and what you have discovered about yourself from this session. And have an excellent week ahead. And I look forward to seeing you next time.